You don't normally see me sitting here in front of the camera, but today I'm sitting here because I've finally got a sponsor, and a sponsor that I use myself, Surfshark VPN. Basically what they are is a virtual private network company. What that means is you can be anywhere in the world and switch your computer to think you're anywhere else. So if you're in India, Jamaica, and you fancy watching The Office with Ricky Gervais, you can basically switch on your Surfshark VPN, make your laptop think you're in England, and enjoy watching wherever you want, wherever you are. I've also been using it myself for booking accommodation. I'm doing loads of documentaries at the moment for Taboo Room. I'm going to most dangerous places in the world, and I'm trying to book accommodation. So what I've been doing personally is putting on my Surfshark VPN, looking at the prices here, looking at the prices in America, Jamaica, and if it's cheaper, I'll just book it using my VPN. Also, if you do want to get in on Surfshark VPN and get 84 or 83% off, I think it's 83% off, which ain't too bad, 3 months free. The code is Taboo Room 10. And if you want to support me, go and do that as well. The link will be in the description. And if you think it's absolute scrapnel and you think it's pants, they also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. I'm pretty sure you won't be having to use that. But yeah, thank you to Surfshark VPN. It's the first time I've ever done an ad, and it's the second time you've seen me on camera here. But it's time for today's episode.
Started carrying guns, right? I remember getting into a situation in college where ended up getting rushed. So 17, 18, I went to a college. I ended up getting rushed, right? So when I got rushed, I was with a girl at the time, and that was so embarrassing. I went home, I jumped on a bus. I wasn't driving at the time. Just jumped on a bus, went and got my gun, jumped back on the bus, came back to the college. As I've come back to the college, I see one of the boys outside the college chase the guy. I've caught the guy in the estate. I've split his head open with the shotgun that I had at the time. I was born in Uganda, in Africa, and I came here to the UK when I was 7 years old. Grew up in Canning Town. I went to school in Canning Town, primary school, secondary school in Canning Town, and I didn't make secondary school, and so forth.
And what would you say your childhood was like growing up?
My childhood was a good childhood. I didn't have anything out of the ordinary growing up. It wasn't, a dysfunctional family or anything like that. It was just growing up, really. It wasn't nothing out of the ordinary.
And what age did you come to London?
7. I came to London at the age of 7. And I went to primary school in London, secondary school in London. I went to college in London, even though I had a break from college, and ended up going to prison. Came back out of prison, went back to college.
And what age did you go to prison?
I went to prison at the age of 18. First time I went to prison at the age of 18.
And what was that for?
Firearm possession.
And how did you get your hands on stuff like that?
I got my hands on that. I actually saved up for it because I got stabbed at the age of 17. I got stabbed at the age of 17. And yeah, after I got stabbed, I was in a coma actually at 17. So when I got stabbed, I got knifed because supposedly I was behind an attack on an older guy from the area. He had a family member, and supposedly I was behind it and the attack. So when my name got back that I was behind it, there was a hit that was put on me. He put a bounty on my head at a young age.
So how did you go from, I guess, growing up in Africa, moving to England at the age of 7, and being in that situation at 17? How does that happen?
It's the company that you keep, to be honest with you. And to be honest with you, I've always been a mischievous kid growing up. I've always been one of those kids who tell them to do something. I want to find out firsthand why I shouldn't do it. So, from school, I got kicked out of school for selling drugs, actually, so I didn't make school. I got caught selling drugs in school. Some kid passed out in school. That's where my trouble started, actually. sold drugs to some young kid in school. He wanted a bit of weed. The weed that I sold him was a bit too strong. He ended up dropping on the floor, fitting. And then his friend ran to the school teacher, told the school teacher that one of the teachers in the playground, why his friend's passing out, something's not right. So they asked him, who did you get the drugs off? So they said, this older guy in school, which was me, and at the time actually had a rat sack, which had my weed in it. So they called the police. At the time I was in class. Yeah, so when they called the police and the police has turned up to the secondary school, one of my friends, that I was in primary school with, heard that the police were in school because of the kid passing out. At the time I had drugs. And the crazy thing is, when the police turned up, my friend overheard something to do with me, so he's come back to the classroom and said, yo, the police is outside looking for you. We've heard your name, right, being mentioned. Knowing that I had weed in the bag, I asked the students in class, I said, which one of you wants to help me? Who wants to take this bag from me? Because I knew they were going to draw me out from the class. And one boy that I kind of used to, I won't say bully, but I used to give him a tough time. He stepped up and said, yeah, I'll do it, right? And looked around. And at that moment in time, I actually had a sense of guilt for giving him a hard time, because in that class, I thought I had friends in that class. Right now, the police has turned up to take me away and search me. No one's looking to take on the rat sack. No one's looking to try and hold on to the bag for me. Which really and truly, if you think about it, it's kind of mad being, why would you put other students in a position like that? But this kid that I had been leaning on, he said, yeah, I'll help you. You understand? So I gave him the bag. But then, when the police took me out of the class and they asked me about the incident, and I was in there was a knock on the door. Yeah, the teacher was at the door. The kid that I had given the bag to, as soon as I gave it to him, he passed it on to the teacher straight away. That was like a payback. And after I got kicked out of school, I found out that same kid that I used to lean on, he was a police cadet. You understand? So now I've been kicked out of school permanently for selling drugs. I've been full with the bag. That's my bag with the drugs in it. They linked up the incident, permanently excluded me.
At this stage, what are your parents saying? Because to my understanding, African parents in particular are very strict around.
Yeah. To be honest with you, my parents actually tried. It goes to show that, look, it doesn't matter if your parents are strict or not, because if you look at it, there's kids that are well off, but you still find those kids on the road selling drugs. Your parents are well off. It's not the parents. The parents can try their hardest. I believe it's the influence, it's the friends that the kids keep that have more of an influence than the parents, because at the end of the day, you're with your parents, after school, you're with your parents, but during school, it's whoever you keep around you. And outside school, when you're outside the home, but for me, to be honest, it was all my own doing. And my parents couldn't understand why.
And then what was next then, Ghost?
So now I'm kicked out of school. I had a little group that I used to roll with outside school. One day, one of my young friends comes to me and he says something's happened to him, right, supposedly. So there's an incident that happens, right, where someone ends up getting, hurt badly, like stabbed or whatever. And then, my name comes back. So when my name comes back, the whole borough at this point is on me. You understand? Like, it's the words that spread out, this guy's name. I was actually crazy is that I used to do music as a kid growing up. So, when you have MySpace, do you remember MySpace was like a thing? Innocently, I'd put myself out there trying to do music, trying to be a rapper or whatever. So they went and got my picture off of MySpace and then distributed it through the whole barrel. And they were like, yo, this guy here. So at the age of 17, I found out years later, that supposedly there was $100,000 put on me at the age of 17 that they wanted me gone. Someone wanted me gone. So anyway, eventually I've been caught, shit's caught up with me. This supposed incident's caught up with me. Obviously, that wasn't the only incident, but this is the incident that's led to where my life's headed to. I ended up getting rushed. I ended up getting stabbed. I didn't see the person that stabbed me. I didn't even remember the people that rushed me, but but when I got stabbed, I was unconscious. So the meeting took place first. Bike helmets, the chains that you use to lock up black motorbikes and stuff like that. So as I was passed out, then it was like a samurai, them little hand samurais that you have, that pierced through my stomach. And I remember, this happened outside of secondary school. I remember being chucked on a stretcher, right? My clothes were cut off. There's school kids around. And I remember waking up like weeks later, 2 weeks later or something, like a week and a half, 2 weeks later, with like tubes, like in my private parts. And I remember having that tube down your throat. I don't know if that's what helps you breathe. Tubes in your arms. And like that obviously they had to give me like a zipper, because the doctors wanted to find out what exactly was pierced. My internal organs were pierced. And when I got out of hospital, I was like, that ain't happening again. But prior to that, I've always had a fetish with guns, at the age of 15, 16. So whoever was around me, we always had an asphyxiation with guns. We were in pursuit to get guns. So obviously we'd sell weed and save up some money and get guns. Do you understand? Because we were aware there was boys around the area that were older at the time that moved through the area and take people's shit. And, we were involved in little altercations and stuff like that. You never know how deep shit gets. So once I touched 17 and I got stabbed, then, I was actually paranoid about that happening to me again. Do you understand? So me and my friends growing up, we bypassed the knives. We didn't carry knives. We went straight to guns. Do you know what I'm saying? So after I got out of hospital, it sent me a bit off. Most of the times, something traumatic happens to a person. It either knocks their confidence and it makes them go straight or legit, or it plummets them further deep into, the game. So anyway, now I've started carrying guns, right? I remember getting into a situation in college where I ended up getting rushed. So 17, 18, I went to a college. I ended up getting rushed, right? So when I got rushed, I was with a girl at the time, and that was so embarrassing. I went home, I jumped on a bus. I wasn't driving at the time. Just jumped on a bus, went and got my gun, jumped back on the bus, came back to the college. As I've come back to the college, I see one of the boys outside the college chase the guy. I've caught the guy in the estate. I've split his head open with the shotgun that I had at the time. Obviously, I wasn't going to shoot him because it's right next to the college, and the estate's cameraed up. So he run into the college, pointing at me, saying, "Yeah, that guy over there. Yeah, he's got a gun," screaming. So obviously, seeing him doing that, stashed the gun that I had. Went into the college, sat down like nothing's happened. As I'm sat in the college, you have that little glass door. Yeah, you got a glass and you got the brown door. The teacher's been called out of the class, right? As the teacher's called out of the class, there's armed police outside. They've seen me sat next to my bag again. Trouble, I just can't stay away from it, right? Next thing, they rush the college. Guns out. That's what they do, scare tactics. Grab me, throw me over the table. I feel sorry for the students that were in there because they were traumatized. Most of them were from like good backgrounds. They've never experienced anything like that. The closest I've been to that is on TV. I don't know, right? 24 hours in police custody or whatever. Armed police, guns waving, MP5s or whatever. They threw me over the table. Asked me if that's my bag. I said, yeah. They grabbed me and my bag, took me into another room. And they said, we've had an accusation that you've got a gun in you. I said, no. I said, I ain't got a gun. So where did you hear that from? I already knew, because the guy ran to the security. They said, how did the guy's head split open then? He said, you hit him with a gun. I said, no. I said, I had a pole, a scaffolding pole that was cut off. I said, it wasn't a gun. And I said, I didn't hit him. He tripped over and fell because he was scared and he was running. So the police didn't pursue anything. Right? And they left it. I'm thinking calm, right? Went about my business like it's normal. Police has come around again. They're persistent. So this is all part of the building of who I ended up becoming growing up. I'm in my mum's house 2 months later. Obviously, throughout time, I'm jamming people with guns. I'm going kind of deeper into the game. You know, any excuse to pull it on you, I'll just, you know what I'm saying? I knew the soft spots, where to stick the nozzle. You know, if I do catch you, I'll stick the nozzle in your ribs or, you know, under your chin, you know, all of that. So anyway, I'm sleeping in my mum's. I hear a helicopter above the bedroom. See a light. All the houses are together. They're not attached. My house is in the middle. Yeah. So the police had to get helicopters cover the back. All right. They can jump 7 fences just to get to my back garden. So when I heard the helicopter above my room, jumped out of bed, I'm thinking, yo, what's happening? Half asleep. So you can imagine it's like a movie. Run downstairs. As I get to the bottom of the stairs, the door flies off. Oh, let's get off. They're shouting different instructions. Get on your knees, get on the floor, hands behind your back. So I'm thinking, what is it? I'm in my boxes. And at the time, thank God I'd sent my mom abroad. Right, I'd sent my mom abroad because I'd been getting money through robberies and shit like that I was doing just to be nice out of all the shit that I've put her through. Never mind the fact that she's tried to confiscate 2 guns from me already at the age of 16 that she found. I had a 4.4 Bulldog Magnum that I had at the time. She tried to confiscate. So I had to kind of, this is going back at 16, I had to kind of lock horns. And she said to me, you know, the first thing that she found was a shotgun. She threw that in the bin. You know, I was pissed about that. So I had to reinvest in a Magnum at the time, right? And you can tell in England, the guns are expensive. Getting them into the country, you know, and then selling 4.4s, even going back 10, 15 years ago, we're talking £2,500, £3,000 at 16. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But so sorry to interrupt you guys, who's selling a gun to a 16-year-old man?
Oh yeah, no. At the end of the day, in the area, if you're known as, you know, those type of guys, you always have people in the area that has the no cousin who's got something for sale. Do you understand? That all the cousins got something for sale. So you always save up. You know, me and my pack have always been associated with having, do you understand, saying guns. So this time I've had to confront my mum, you know. So my mum called me down. I called her. I said, you found something in my room. You know, my sister told me, actually. I remember I used to keep it in a sock. It's like a small little 6-inch barrel revolver. So I said to her, you found something in my room. She said, yeah. You know, yeah. You know, I said, yeah, I'm going to need that bag. She says, well, you're going to have to choose. I said, it's not mine. Had I said it's mine, she was saying, I'll throw it away, it's nothing. Yeah. As a young boy, you always deflect the blame and point at someone else or say it's the older boys or someone else's for your mum not to do something stupid because there's repercussions for the actions that she's about to do. So she said, choose the gun or choose the house. I chose the gun. I left the house, right? So you go through the whole hosting procedure. So when the police did actually come to my mum's house at the age of 17, second time round, I had sent her abroad. Thank God she wasn't there, but my older sister was there. Back to the story, the helicopters above the room. I've run downstairs. The doors flew open. I see shields. I see laser beams. I see about 7 beams on my chest. I'm in my boxes. I don't know where I was running, but it's just impulse. So I get on my knees. So they drag me out of the house. The whole road's blocked off. I'm sat in the back of the car, and I'm thinking, sister, man, like, I'm more worried about what my sister's gonna do or say than what the police are gonna do. So anyway, they search the house, they find nothing. They didn't even find the gun. Where I had the gun hidden. I had the gun hidden with the coke that I was pushing at the time and the weed that I was pushing at the time. Somewhat between my house and the next door neighbor's house. You know, like the fence. So after they searched the house and didn't find anything, I thought I was going to prison. I went back there, they didn't find the weed or the coke. So I was absolutely gassed, right? I get to keep my gun. Another 2 months gone by. I've carried on doing what I'm doing, robberies, stick-ups or whatever. I'm in my own place. Remember, I don't live at my mum's no more. At the time I was living there, she had gone abroad. So I stayed there for a little while because the line that I had, drug line that I had, was centered around my mum's area. And I didn't want to be traveling all the way from my area and back. And remember, I never used to drive. So Ubering would have been, obviously Uber didn't exist at the time, it was cabs, would have been the next best route, because I'm not going to get on a bus with coke. And I used to wear a trench coat, right, with coke in his bag, a shotgun, and weed in his bag. Do you understand? So sometimes it would make sense, like on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, to stick around my mum's locality, because that's where my business line was. I'm in my new place, right, in my new flat. I had scaffolding around it. The door's gone again. I had my shotgun on the windowsill. Remember, I'd been stabbed, so I'd been paranoid. There's a hit on me. I'd rather be caught with it by the police than without it by whoever's after me. And never actually mind that the person that's put the hit on me, we'll talk about him later. I'm not going to disclose too much, but I'll just touch a bit on that later. And doors flew open, right? I've heard the door going. But at the time, I'd enforced a plastic door. Because with a plastic door and a ram it with the rum key, it throws back a lot of friction. It doesn't fly in straight away. Like a wooden door will pave in and it'll force that door off the hinge. A plastic door falls back the force. So I heard the door going, shoot. I jumped out. Sure. They got on me. Open the balcony door. Without looking, I threw a shotgun out. It hit the armed Fed that was on the scaffolding with a Glock torch pointing at me. He's disappeared off the scaffolding. I remember there was about 6 armed police. They got cover the exits, so some covering the front, some covering the back. The torches out the torches and the Glocks are at the scaffolding, wooden panels around the floor, the full floor that I was living at, pointing at the exit. So as I've opened the door, because I'm thinking coming from the front, I've opened my bedroom door, which leads out to the balcony, and just through it. So as I threw it, I see the guy at the rear end, the far corner, disappear off the scaffolding. The torch went, right? He's fell off. So as this fell off, the shotguns bust open, the shells are dropped out. First time I went to prison, 18, possession of a firearm, but it hit armed Fed. I had to go guilty. I got 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah, minor. 3 years, plead guilty, and that actually sent me even worse, because now prison can be one or two things. It can be a course of you changing your life, or you get a chance to rub shoulders and swap ideas with other criminals. So when I got out, I was like, whoa, I've been stabbed. There's a hit on me. I've been involved in guns. At the time, I hadn't shot anyone yet. And I was like, yo, prison got that bad. Do you understand? So when I got out of prison, that's when that gunfiring started,
So you've come out at 21?
No, I come out at 20. I went back in at 21.
What did you go back inside for so quick?
So when I got out, I went in 18, come out 20, all right? And I'm broke. I think to myself, I got to make money, man, right? I don't even want to sell weed or drugs no more. I'm on instant cash. So I had a friend of mine that I grew up with. I've been primary school with him, secondary school with him. And he was, obviously, luckily at the time, he was on the same shit I was on, you understand? So we just came together, right? Like a puzzle, just clicked. And then, we put ideas together. So we started doing stick-ups. We had drops, drug dealers that will set each other up. So we had our Albanians that were selling coke. Take out the rival competition, just send a text. That's how we used to function. Send a text, we get your address, right? That's your door's coming off. And at the time, when we put our heads together, I'd been in prison, I'd been watching SWAT. So there was a program called SWAT in America, where they'll rush your door and they've got a sledgehammer that they use as a key. and that your door flies off the handle. So that was the MO, right? We fly through doors. We had Vietnamese people that would do grows, like the grow, they have grow houses and factories and stuff like that. So they're capos. I've always been into networking. So was my other friend. We're into networking. We'll split everything 50-50. If you're not happy with the split that you're getting from your friend, he's offering you 30% and he's taking 70%, and you prefer 50%, send me a text. Do you understand what I'm saying? But information has to be solid. So we had Vietnamese for grow, for weed. We had Albanians for coke and money. And we had, like money drops. So kind of like a dealer, but I wasn't a dealer. We always had lines that will fly through Texas and solid sources of information. More time, it has to be an insider that has to be sat in that house when we come through. Second time I went to prison when I was 20. I've gone to a move. Obviously I can talk about this now because I've done the stretch. And whatever I'm talking about, it's already documented. It's only the public that I know about what I'm saying, and the police already know about what I'm saying. So it's not about the stories being far-fetched. It's the fact that the public don't know about it. So I'm only saying what the police already have documented. We've gone to a robbery. I've got a text. I'm chilling in a hood. I've got a text. Yo, 70K. Yeah, my uncle's got 70 grand. I'm with him right now. Yeah? Drop me the address. We don't play around. We used to do yards. We used to do hits as well. You know what I'm saying? So hits can range from anything. Do you know what I'm saying? If you need people hurt or whatever, I'll get the text. We'll get pictures. Not through text, of course. We'll get pictures through the envelopes and stuff like that. Address and the amount of damage inflicted. And because we had a little team, we would pass it around to share. So people would always get first dibs. I want that. You know what I'm saying? I want that hit. Whatever the next thing that comes in, if I'm happy with it, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? So whether it's, people getting hurt or drugs or whatever, we're the cleanup crew. So I get a text. I'm chilling in the hood. I get a text. Address. So the boy that's with his uncle, he slipped off to the bathroom, sent me a text, right? So when he sent me a text, I was saying, yo, you man, 70K, should we get it? I wasn't too fast because at the time we've been doing licks. We've been doing 100K, 200K, you know what I'm saying, 250, whatever. So we've been taking cash money, we've been taking drugs, right? And we'll exercise violence if needs be, if you do not comply. So really and truly, in reality, our mindset was, we're not doing anything wrong. We're coming there to confiscate what already belongs to us. What you've got in your house belongs to us. We're not doing anything wrong. Do you understand? That was the mindset. So really and truly, so we're justifying your wrong. So we get a text. We always had stolen cars that were plated around the area. We had guns, stolen cars plated around the area. Life of a robber. So we go to the address. We hit the address at midnight. So when we get there at midnight, we always used to roll in groups of 3s. When we get there at midnight, I open it up. The first thing that I do before I sledgehammer the doors, I check the door. Bust the door's open at midnight. I'm thinking, yo, what's going on? Is this a setup? The door's open. It is what it is. We're here now. So we're forced entry into that. We did forced entry into the house. I already know where the bedroom is. But the kid and his uncle have left already. And he didn't get a chance to message me. I said, the mission. Because his uncle said, all of a sudden said to me, oh, bad feeling. Nah, I'm not keeping my money here, right? So he said to him, come with me, I'm taking it away somewhere. He didn't want to send a text to me, just in case I end up licking the house and his uncle suspects him. So he just kept quiet, stood beside his uncle. We've come through the house, the uncle's not there, gone up the stairs. So we forced the entry into his bedroom. But little did we know that the house that he was staying in, he also already had people living in there as well. So it had a yard man, a Jamaican man, where he was seeing an Asian woman at the time. So as we were run raiding, searching the house, flipping everything over, we go straight to the spot where the money's meant to be. It's not there. I said to the boys, yo, we're already here. I used to carry the shotgun. So sometimes I would carry the shotgun and I also do the sledgehammer because I was big. So I'll clear your door with the sledgehammer and I'm also the first one in there with the shotgun, whether it's a pumpy, Sony, whatever. That was my weapon of choice at the time because it's intimidating. As soon as you hear and you look over, you see a man in a trench coat. You know what I'm saying? 6'4", 17 stone. Yeah, you got to start weighing up, you know, do what I have, I can make. But what this person can take from me, I can't replace, which is your life at the time. And anything's possible in a robbery, right? So we run raid and we're searching the house. We find nothing. So as you'll expand, now that we're here, the law's already broken, we're going to expand the search. We've gone into the neighboring bedroom. As we're in this bedroom, one of the boys hears someone in the shower. The Jamaican man that was in the shower with his girl at the time, we didn't know that there was another set of people living there, jumps out of the bedroom, the shower window, creeps back into the house, arms himself with a knife, calls the police. He's in the living room. One of the boys says, yo, there's someone in the bathroom. So he left his chick in the bathroom to call the police and arm himself with a knife to defend his house. As far as he's concerned, it's just burglars. So now we force entry into the house, into the shower, the shower room where the woman is. She's butt naked, screaming, ah, right? So, to be honest with you, we're not here for you. Do you understand? We've come for a purpose. Just shut up, man. Like, just comply. Took into one of the main rooms that was being searched. One of the boys is searching that room. I got another boy that's searching the rest of the rooms. I said to the boy that was searching the first room, make sure she doesn't move, keep your head down. Now, the thing is with me, the majority of the works that I used to do, especially if it was like, you know, shooting, you know what I'm saying, if I got to pop someone off, I never used to wear a mask. Reason being, I'm 6'4", right? I got a big puffer coat on. If you see me coming from a mile off, which you are, walking, I prefer to walk up to someone. That's what I used to do. I'll walk up to you and I'll flush them. You know what I'm saying? I'll flush. If you feel like a radiator and you're full of heat or whatever, I'll flush your heat. So you know what I'm saying? So I come walking and you see someone with a mask on, you're going to run. And I can't miss the opportunity. So to secure the opportunity, I won't wear a mask. I'll let you see my face, you turn around and say, I don't recognize him. But the fact is, out of everyone that I've flushed, yeah, and no one's able to ID me. No one can identify me. And what I've come out with is, once that gun goes off, it's like they get amnesia. They don't remember what's just happened. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, anyway, the woman's in the room. I've told one of the boys, go downstairs. I'm going to search the living room downstairs. So as he's gone downstairs, forced himself into the living room door, the yard man, at the time, same size as me, height, but he's a bit fatty, right? Had a kitchen knife. He seen one of the burglars trying to force themselves into the room that he was in. He shouted, "Bomber!" Yeah, "Bomber!" Jumped out the room, swung the knife. The boy's shitting himself, right? Running down the corridor, yeah, the hallway, screaming my name. But the thing is, I already had him covered. If we go on the move, we all have roles to play. Yeah, if I've got the gun, I will literally light up the whole party if I have to. If someone feels like they're going to play hero, because it's my responsibility. Do you understand? If I take on that gun, it's my responsibility, and I've got to be ready to use it. So as the yardman's chasing him through the hallway, I've seen him. He didn't have to shout my name. I've reached over the balcony, you know, with one arm. Obviously, I've fired my gun so many times, it's become like a part of me. Reached over with one arm. I've squeezed the gun. It's going for, thank God, at the time, it's going for a shelf. The shelf took some of the wadding from the shotgun. Right, the wadding's the hard part of the shotgun. So the pellets have pierced through. So the balls have literally burst his neck. Right, so his neck's burst. You know, like a Coke bottle or a Coke can, when you shake it and you stab it and it fizzes. His neck started fizzing. So he's in his boxes with a knife, neck's fizzing, right? Blood's just pouring, yeah? He shot out the house from the hallway. Instead of running up the stairs towards me, he shot straight out the house. So as he run onto the high road, and the police that he had called to come to the house, I've seen a big black man on a high street with a knife and blood running down his chest. So the adrenaline is pumping. So we've left. Upon the gun being fired, I said, yo, time to leave. We've left. Some of the people, because there was so much blood on the floor and it was a wooden flooring, have slipped up on the blood, right, and was chipped. Got in a car. As I'm in the car, it's like a movie scene. Drove past the police that were heading to us, right? Because for them, it was just a normal burglary. But little did he know the guys were armed that were in the house. I drove past the police, and I remember seeing them, like trying to calm the guy down. And they played that part back to me in court. Yeah, and that's that in itself. That's the case. That was my case that landed me the 20 years in prison. But the night that I got clean, I had set up a move in the area, and the boys that I took with me ended up licking the wrong door. The night that led to me going to prison, I've picked up a set of boys. We're going to do a robbery in an area. I've had word that there's drugs in a house, and the house has been pointed out to me. So I've gone to pick up some boys from the block. They weren't from my block, though, from another block. What I used to like to do is to rotate people that run through the house, because I never used to like to use the same team. So I've picked up these boys from the block that were tipsy at the time, and it's my fault really, because I should have just said, nah, you know, you lot are a bit drunk. But I was so greedy that I said to them, yo, come, do you know what? I think let's do it. Got them into the car, picked them up in a plated car, took them back to the locality, gave them the gun, drove them to the locality. They've gone to the house. They've sledgehammered the house. 3 boys run up in there, sledgehammered the house. The thing that I liked about the boys, specifically 2 boys, they knew how to use sign language. So they don't talk. You're not going to hear things like, you know, James, Steve, get the gun. These guys with sign language. You see some SWAT doing that stuff, like police doing that stuff where they do sign language and they clear doors. So they knew how to communicate without speech. So they've cleared out the house. They've run up in the house. 2 red doors that were side by side. They've hit the wrong door. Because I was not far and I was watching, I was almost certain it was the right door, but obviously when the police turned up to the house, because they come through waving guns, people were pissing themselves. When the police they've been quartered in your dress, the police knocked on the neighbouring door and they could smell so much drugs coming from the neighbouring house. So they ended up taking that lick as well, because they licked the wrong house. So anyway, upon seeing how they've just handled that, I was actually happy with that. I was like, right, I was amazed. Because this is what I do. Me and my boys, this is what we do. We clear, success rate's high. We clear robberies. It's certain. As soon as you get us on it. And the thing is as well, we'll never rip you off. Because we see it as it's 50% of what we never had. And to keep you coming, if you've got more friends, we'll treat you right. It's a give and take relationship. So upon that, I already had 180 grand that was needed confiscating from a Vietnamese loan shark. It was a woman that had 3 sons in a house in South London. And I had a text at the time from one of my Vietnamese people. He just dropped off 30 grand. And obviously they use cash machines to count stuff. And he said to me, yo, I'm at the house now. I've dropped off 30 grand. They've got 150 grand plus the 30 grand I've just dropped off. The bosses live in Vietnam. They send the workers, the capos, to come here who manage the workers who live in these factories. So I had a capo who just dropped off 30 racks and he's gave me the address. It says, fly through now. I'm in here now. Straight after we just done that robbery. Well, obviously it wasn't successful. So I said to them, yo, don't worry about that. We're going to another thing in South. As we're driving towards South, right, really and truly I had a safety car that I should have been in, but I just wanted to make sure these boys get there because I'm aware that it's tipsy. I said, I'm going to drive you there. As I'm driving them there, I've done a dodgy U-turn. Armed police, these are called city police. City police, they police an area, a radius of 2 miles. So that's their little, and they always have guns in them because it's the city of London. We're all cutting through the city of London rather than going the long way around. Done a dodgy U-turn, they weren't doing nothing. They said, yeah, them. So they're following the car. My car's plated. Would always go on car sales websites when we've got stolen cars, get a matching plate, written down, add to the place, get it manufactured and stick it on. So it's a copy of another car that's insured. But this time I hadn't checked to see the owner. The car was insured, but the car was still stuck in the showroom. So the place that I'd copied of the car, even though it was insured, it wasn't registered to anyone. So the armed police wanted to take interest to find out who's driving this car because it's not registered to anyone. So when they've come on to me, I've took chase, and this is like South London, central South London-ish. You know, like when you cut through central London and you're heading towards south, there's like posh areas. I don't know where I'm going. I'm taking chase. I get out, I crash the car, right? And like I've said to you, we all had roles to play. One of the boys that was carrying the gun at the time, because I was driving, we had agreed, if I crash the car, you got to get out and wing with the gun. Even if he wasn't going to do that, he should have said that to me and told me, yo, I'm not going to take the gun. I would have found someone else to play the role, right? I crashed the car, we've got out, run. I don't know where I'm running. But at this time, instead of splitting up, the boys decided to follow. Two of the boys that I'd picked up decided to follow me. We've run towards the pier. So when we've run towards the pier, we end up at the Thames. And at the Thames, I was trying to persuade my co-defenders to jump into the Thames. I couldn't swim. I can bro slime, dude. Just trying to persuade them to jump in. Had any of them floated, I would have took the risk. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is bad shit, but desperate times calls for desperate measures. We're stuck at the pier for 5 minutes. We can hear the police running, boots, running towards you. Hey, stay where you are. I'm like, oh gosh, I've got a gun charge. This is, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, license. I'm not sure if the guys took the gun because he didn't run with us. I'm saying to them, yo, who's gonna jump? I can't swim. I could see the water's dirty. It's mucky, it's brown. I could see the other side of the Thames, but I'm desperate to get away. If any of them jump in there and they float, I'm going to jump in. If any of them jump in and don't float, obviously, I'm not jumping. Do you understand? No one took the plunge. There was one guy that was very close to jumping in. He didn't take the plunge. We all got caught in a pier, nicked, police station. I ended up going to Belmarsh. And when I was in Belmarsh, it's a high security prison. Police came to see me at Belmarsh. They said, yeah, we've got someone that fits your pattern. Someone's been shot in the house, right? In their house, in the neck with a shotgun. At the time, I'm just in for a simple gun position. They took me up Plumstead Police Station, which is in South. So I just wanted to go along because I want to know what they've got. I'm not going to be sitting there in my cell like, the police are here to see me. No, I'm not going. And then I'm sat in my cell like, oh shit, what do they have? I'm the type of guy, I'll come along and then, yeah, man, just sit there like, yeah, what's going on? At the end of the day, what they have helps me come up with a defense. It gives me something. Plus, I'm not going anywhere. I'm on my second gun charge at the time. So I've gone along. They're inquiring on a guy that supposedly, at the time, had been shot in the house. I'm in the cell. I ended up moving from Brixton. So from Belmarsh, I ended up going to Brixton months down the line because nothing came of it. They were just inquiring. I ended up bumping into my friend. Remember I told you about me and my friend used to lock heads and we used to exchange information on who needed to get, what services were needed, who needs to get robbed, the hit needs to get done, who, all of that. He's coming to jail. I'm like, yo, what are you doing there? He's in there for free possession of free firearms. We're talking big guns. Right? So we're in the cell chilling, right? Because we ended up banging up together. We're in the cell chilling. I've had a knock on the door. I've got called into court. And at the time, I had 30 court appearances in 2 years. When I got nicked, I got nicked as a totality of 24 charges, all gun-related charges, right? Because it all just started building up. 24 charges at the time. 24 gun possession charges and firing guns or whatever, right? So I ended up going to court. They gave me bail because I was ready to start trial and the prosecution weren't ready to start trial. So it's called custody time limit, right? So this is to prevent the prosecution from dragging their heels and keeping someone innocent in prison. So custody time limit is 6 months. It had run out. So they let me go, right? They've given me bail. I'm out for 2 weeks. They're just racking their heads, shaking their heads like, yo, this guy's out. How is this guy out? Anyways, as I'm out, I have to sign on. I have to go to a police station. One day, go sign on to the police station. I turn up to the police station. police station is locked down. Nobody's reporting any crimes, nothing. I think to myself, like, yo, where's everyone? I'm sure there's crimes happening in the area. Like, even, because you have the part where you sign in at the police station, and you have another side where people report crimes. But the whole police station is shut down. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Someone pops up from underneath the desk, says, hello, Mr. Magazi. Well, colleague of mine wants to have a word with you. What? Okay, right. I'm thinking, I ain't breached no bail conditions. They said, right, can you step over to the other side of the room? So I step inside the police station. As I'm sat there, a new woman comes in, right? This woman's investigating a case where someone got shot out of a bedroom window, right, with a shotgun. So this case, someone got shot out of the bedroom window with a shotgun, and their body's outlined. They found like a hole in the chest, blood coming out of his ears and his mouth, bubbles or whatever. And she's also investigating a case where someone got shot in the back, right? I've never seen it before. So she's like, before I go into any further information on why I'm here, I've got a colleague of mine that wants to ask you one or two things. We're just going to wait for him to come in. So I'm sat in the police station. An officer walks in, but this one I recognize because he's the one that came to see me while I was in Belmarsh. He's come to see me about the guy that got shot in the throat. So now I'm thinking, oh, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? They've said, we don't have the facilities to interview you here, past the police station. We're going to take you to another station that has the facilities. I said, oh, okay, right. In my heart, I kind of knew that these are just, the heart was burning. They couldn't have me out. Gone to the police station, which was a Trident station. Trident, they specialize in gun crime. As soon as I got in there, they swabbed me for gunpowder, right? They trapped me in the cell. And 20 years was passed on to me. I went to court. I beat two of the cases, which was the guy that got shot in the chest and the guy that got shot in the back. This particular case here, the guy getting shot in the throat, that one, they couldn't afford to let that slip. So, yeah, I ended up getting 12 years, for the initial run-up, where the boys run up in the house. They got 8. I got 12 years, even though the tallest person was 5'6". I'm 6'4". You can't mistake me for anyone. I wasn't in the house. Simply, I wasn't in the house. Had I been in the house, I would have said, yeah, I was in the house. I didn't even see what the victims looked like. They gave me 12 years for that. Because the judge was sure that I was the person that set up the robbery. Now, this other case, 2 years into the 12 years and I was screwing. I was pissed about the 12-year sentence because I managed to get bail. We were trying to go for a dismissal because the evidence that they had didn't match up with man. I got 12 years for that. So now I'm in there, 2 years into doing the 12 years, they'll come back and say, yeah, got a case on you now, right? Said 16 years on top of the 12 years. Overall, the totality of years that they gave me racked up to like 59 years. The totality, they were just chucking numbers out. 3, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, all at different times. In 2 years, I think I had about 30 court appearances. I had about 2 court appearances each month throughout the whole 2 years before I got this other bigger sentence. And 20 years, I done 10 years out of that. And I just got out during COVID lockdown.
Would you consider yourself a good human in those years?
No. Listen, as soon as I'd wake up, I'm not going to lie to you, as soon as I wake up, at that time, someone's day's ruined. As soon as my eyes are open, we got a list of addresses, yeah? Whoever's getting done, we're coming through. We're coming to your house. It's payday, man. At that time, what I'm saying, money had the say. And to be honest with you, I never really had any emotions towards any of the people that I was coming through to fix up or to rob or to shoot or whatever the situation was. I ain't gonna lie to you, we didn't discriminate, as fucked up as that is, man or woman. Your wife, probably wouldn't do your kid, but, women within a consider that even women, like, we had a level of violence that we'll be looking to do, like, because no one wants to be doing no sentence for a woman, like, you know what I'm saying? So there'll be a level of violence that will be, demonstrated or given to her. But a man will pack you and send you to hell. Do you know what I'm saying? We will send you to hell at the time, so pay, the right pay, I wasn't a good human being at the time, and it's just my encounters in prison with other people, it's what's made me mature up somewhat, the thing is with today's society, the kids of today, they carry their Rambos and stuff like that. People say to me, during like your time and that, do you reckon you would have been able to match up with the kids of today? You've put us into any era. Do you understand? Because now kids carry ZKs. There would have been no match. But the bottom line is, life in prison, right? This whole life is a trap, like, in a sense that, once the government get a hold of you and they put 30 on you, 30 years in prison, you're going to be living a nightmare, bro. A nightmare. Like every day you wake up, it's a nightmare. If it's not your baby mom's gone off with someone else, she's cheating on you, she's sleeping with another man or some next man raising your kids, your mom's passed away while you're in prison, If your mom ain't passed away, someone's broke into your house. If it's not that you're getting stabbed in prison, not just that your friends have moved on with their lives, you've been the example. You have been the reason why they've changed their lives around. Now they've got jobs and they've got families, courtesy of you. And now you're sat in that cell where they come through at night. When they come from night, and they open the flap and they shine the torch at you like you're an animal. That's on midnight, just to make sure you're still in the cell. This type of living, it does something to the human mind. Being in a cell for 10 straight years. Obviously, there's people that have done longer than me. But not just that, you're with other, and not just that as well. When I went in there, I had to humble myself because as big as I was and as physical as I was or whatever, I've met people that are badder than me. And how they carry themselves, it makes me feel embarrassed about how I behave, because these men are in for 4 murders, 5 murders. You know what I'm saying? And they carry themselves a certain way. So you get to learn how a man should carry himself, learn from your mistakes and try and better yourself.
And before we finish as well, Ghost, is there anything you want to say and conclude on?
What I was going to say. Yeah, listen, before, I'm not here to preach, but before you react, before you do anything, you just got to weigh up your odds, and remember that the feds are playing for keeps, You're getting kept there. Once you get that 30-year sentence, you're going to wish you was dead.